I'm Tibisay Morgandi, and I'm going to talk to you about the module on select public international law issues in energy. This module examines the application of public international law to interstate energy activities. And why do we look at interstate energy activities? Because countries are heavily energy dependent. To satisfy their energy demand, they need to import and export primary sources such as coal, gas, oil, or uranium. Or they can also import electricity, which is a secondary source of energy. But they can also try to tap into the sun, the wind, or the rivers to produce renewables. In this respect, it would be great if we lived in a world in which we could entirely rely on renewable and we were all energy independent. But that's not the case. And that's why states have developed a sophisticated framework that tries to make interstate energy activity as smooth as possible. So in this module, we focus precisely on these complex web of norms that are created by treaties, but also by something called customary international law, which is the practice of state, which is seen as binding by them. So we will look at plurilateral and bilateral treaties that govern different energy activities, such as pipeline treaties, such as joint development agreements, hydropower agreements, or general cooperation agreements that allow states to regulate the development of new technologies like green energy technologies, or also nuclear activities. But also we will look at, as I was saying, customary norms, which are the norms the state have not codified in a treaty, but they consider binding. And so there are questions such as, every time I decide to engage in a certain activity, do I need to conduct an environmental impact assessment? Well, that's, if the activity is building a nuclear power plant or a large hydropower plant, yes, states are required under customary international law to do that. And so it's important to know that there is interplay between treaties and customs in international law. So as part of this module, we will also look at important questions such as energy security. How do we guarantee a secure supply of energy at an affordable price? And what do we do to guarantee that? And the institutions that were set up, like the International Energy Agency, that was set up to respond to the OPEC oil embargo in the 70s and to guarantee that states could feel secure when it came to energy demand. But we also look at what do we do with installations that come to the end of their life. Because we're often thinking about producing energy, but we produce energy with installations that at some point decade and need to be essentially disposed of. And what do we do with an oil platform in the sea or a nuclear power plant? Obviously, it's complex to dispose of these installations. So we look at also the international legal framework that governs the so-called decommissioning of energy installations, including solar panels, that everybody considers as the future, but they're full of chemicals, and hence they need to be disposed in a certain way. The module is taught in a Socratic style. I like to engage with my students and have a lot of in-class exercises and in-class discussions, and is assessed by an online exam, which essentially is going to be focused on, obviously, materials covered, but the applications of the rules that I teach and we discuss in class. It's a module that should appeal to all specialists, given that it covers such a very hot topic, but at the same time, we cover the basics, so it doesn't require prior knowledge. And I hope many of you will join. Thank you.